Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another player interview. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, but I'm really excited for this one. I'm here with Wim, who got third place at the European Invitational. So, Wim, why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about how the event went?
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Wim Eliano. I'm a 33-year-old player from Belgium playing for Kitchen Table Meta. I started playing trading card games a little over 13 years ago with Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic. I've played most of it. And yeah, I took Hirudegarn to the Invitational to determine Europe's best player, finished third place.
Awesome. Yeah, so great amount of experience. And this is definitely a deck that I don't think anyone expected. I mean, I think I saw a shout out to my teammate Trey. So is that kind of where you got the idea for this deck?
I was looking for decks to play because at the English finals we had the normal meta. We could play everything up to draft box because we didn't have Magnificent Collection yet by then. But because of the French and the Italian players, they are missing sets, or they are not as deep into the sets as we are. We had to adapt a little bit to a special meta. So basically everything was allowed up until set 7. Everything afterwards we could not play. And at my finals I played Blue Yellow Hiru, so I had to change decks entirely. And because I don't have a lot of time to play right now with the internship and work and studies, I was looking for something similar, and I was just browsing deck profiles, and I found this made by Trey, and it's more or less the same control-y, aggro-ish hybrid, and I really like the playstyle. I've played a lot of Hirudegarn in the past, so I just said, fuck it, let's do this.
Awesome. And it's always a shame to hear that like the other regions are behind in sets. I hope Bandai really does kind of figure out a way to fix that.
It's not really Bandai's fault, because the French and Italian cards, they are printed outside of Japan and they have different stock, so that's why they are delayed all the time, and they need to be translated, of course, but they're doing their best to fix it. And we had a representative, we had I don't remember his name, but he is the head of R&D of Bandai, and he attended the event. He was very positive about the way players interact using different language cards and how it was all solved. We had judges available on call. If you didn't know what a certain card did, you could ask them for a translation on an iPad. So it went really smooth, actually.
That's awesome. And thank you for letting us know that that it's not quite Bandai's fault. It's always nice to know that we don't have to blame Bandai for everything. But let's get into the deck here. So of course Hirudegarn, kind of like a blast from the past. I mean, I still remember the other day when Hirudegarn Storm was like destroying everything. But going through the main deck, so the typical stuff, we've got the double strike, we've got your 4 negates, the Minosha legs package for some free advantage, and the Goku Black Unforeseen Darkness. So you mentioned this is like a aggro control hybrid. I can definitely see the control, but how would you aggro your opponent if you needed to, let's say?
Like my typical turn 1 is just charging a multicolor, preferably Frost or Beers if I have no other choice. I'd rather not charge Potara because you really need him in some games. But then on turn 2 you charge. If you don't have a multicolor, you can charge your legs that you search of your Minosha.
Right.
And from there on you have a wide range of plays. You can keep both open to counter on their turn, or you can play your black, swing with the black, swing with the leader, draw more cards of the leader. Then at the end of the turn you discard for black, you draw 2, you untap an energy, then you can protect your black with the Raging Spirit, or you can Senzu Bean to play a counterplay if they attack first. So basically you are playing a lot of the game on their turn, dropping creatures on their turn, then on your turn swinging with them, protecting them if you can, if you don't have to waste too much resources in them, and then just finish them on turn 4 with Fu when you've stripped their hand out of options because they have to defend against your 15Ks all the time.
Got you. So in terms of aggro, it's like you spam the board with either counterplays with Radiant Spirit Sun Gohan or like Goku Black, and then on turn 4 you play Dark Banisher, kind of clean it up from there. That actually makes a lot of sense. And another question that popped up really quick. So if you guys were restricted on certain sets, what were some of the other popular decks in the room?
We had a lot of U6, which this deck has a really good matchup against because I have a lot of cards in my hand and they don't always have the power to plow through me, and I can usually kill them on the crackback when they're all in fails. There were about 5 babies, if I'm not mistaken. 2 Toas, I think, and both topped. Only 2 Janembas out of the 48. There was some 2 green Brolys. And then there were some a few rogue leaders. Like there was one Slug, there were 2 Shenron Gogitas, I think, or Shenron Victory Strikes. But most of it was like the same. But it was awkward because the world peace effect was the errata was in effect. So like we had to go back to set 7 meta, but not really set 7 meta because Shenron is not really an issue anymore. So other decks got stronger because they got bullied by Shenron. So
right, yeah, really with Shenron getting neutered like that, Shenron Ramp and Shenron Gogeta are nowhere near as strong for sure.
No, exactly.
But then moving on the rest of the deck, so Undying Spirit and then Radiant Spirit Son Gohan. So I know you got the idea for this deck from Trey, and Trey, like, Radiant Spirit is probably his favorite card. So how did this card perform over the weekend? Just like, you know, the combo into play.
Oh, it worked amazingly with the Goku Black, just swinging with the black and then protecting the black with the 1 energy you have up from their leader. They try to combo to 15 or 20k to try and kill your black for some reason. You just drop this and then you have 2 swings on them. It overperformed, I feel like. The card is still really good.
Excellent. Awesome. And yeah, it's a great alternative, obviously, when you can't play, you know, Raiders Warcry. And with Button going away, that seems like it's going to be even more valid strategy. Then we have the multicolors. So 4 Deadly Poison. So was Trey playing 4 of these?
Trey was playing 4 of these. The reason is because we don't have the Boojak.
Oh,
we need something else. So we played this, and it came in clutch in a few matchups that I had so many of them. Like I was playing on a stream in round 2 against a Green Broly player, and I won game 1 because I won the dice roll, fortunately, because if you don't, you have a bit of a problem against that deck. Then on game 2, he just killed me because he went first and put way too much damage in. And on game 3, he was playing because he's Italian, he doesn't have everything. And he was playing like a weird build that has the Android 17 that absorbs to go into Super 17.
Okay.
So on turn 3, he tried to Super 17 me. I just frosted it. Turn afterwards, he tries to do it again with a new one, just frost it again, and I won on the spot there.
Nice.
The card really came in clutch a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a blue deck, I guess in a blue deck, you know, it's 3 energy isn't too bad in the sense that it's basically Cold Bloodlust. So I mean, it is almost like 4 Cold Bloodlust. But you guys don't have the dual color expansion set.
We do, but it was not legal.
Oh, okay.
Like also 4 is not a problem because I have Hoi and I can just discard excess copies of it with the Hoi.
Right. And then we have the Through the Dark Banisher, which is like the main win condition, the Source of Power Son Goku for some Self-Awaken, and Champa the Trickster. So that's pretty much the whole main deck. Anything else you want to say about the main deck before we get into the side deck?
Yeah, you want to be at 3 life.
Before you Frost Poison.
Effect out of your Frost. Yeah, you will always want to be at 3 life with this. So either they do it for you or you do it with Source of Power. The 3 is the sweet spot.
Gotcha. So you want to make sure you're at 3 to get the maximum benefit out of that for sure. Yeah, Janemba does the same thing, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, indeed.
Going into the sideboard, you're wide open at 2. So what was this for? Because really this is probably one of like the weakest counterplays in the game, just because like you put it back in their hand, they can reuse it the next turn or even maybe the same turn. So what were the main uses of this card for you?
For Janemba, basically, and against the U6 counterplays. Like against Janemba, this deck struggles a lot, obviously, because I'm drawing so many cards with all my cards. So the way I wanted to beat Janemba was just charge to 6, foo them. If they Champa, I wide open it, and my foo stays because the Champa never hits.
Gotcha.
And try to win like that, but yeah, I played against one Janemba, and it's just horrible.
Yeah, and then if they have the Frost Poison for your foo, it's even worse. Everyone always says that Dark Banisher is a great card against Janemba, but they really have like tons of answers for it.
Yeah, it is. And the wide open is also good against Broly, because if they pop their 1-drop and they try to go into their 4-drop, you just bounce it with your wide open, it never hits the field, and they lose on the spot.
Right, yeah, it's very hard to come back.
Broken. Yeah.
Very difficult to come back from there. And then we have the Making an Entrance, more Janemba hate, I'm assuming. Did you put this in against anything else?
No, just purely there for Janemba, and it honestly was a wasted slot, because the matchup is so bad, even siding these and Tien, and it doesn't do anything. If the Janemba player is good, almost can't beat him.
Dang, that is pretty unfortunate. But I mean, if you have good matchups everywhere else, then you gotta take your bets, right?
Indeed.
So you have 2 Mercenary Tau. Again, just like, was Slug really the only like hand control deck that people were afraid of?
I wasn't really afraid of it, but I'm always afraid of hand destruction. I really don't like playing against it. Even though this deck draws a million cards, I still don't like it. I actually lost game 1 versus the Slug, so that was rough.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I always include Tau if I can. It's just a preference thing. It makes me feel safer.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense to me. And then 3 Harus for I'm sure like Yellow Broly and other random things.
Yellow
right?
Broly, Green Broly, Slug, came in clutch as well.
Gotcha. And then TN. So this comes in obviously against Janemba, but were there other matchups where TN was really good in?
No, I only played against one blue leader that was a Janemba. For the rest, there were no blue leaders present, I think, or only a few. So
gotcha. Yeah, I think
always in the side deck. Yeah.
Gotcha. I think people sometimes overvalue or undervalue the fact that you can actually bring this in against red decks too, just to be aggressive. Yeah. So that's pretty cool as well.
I faced one pen, but I didn't really want it against that because I had that matchup down anyway. But it's also really good in this deck versus red indeed because it's a 1-drop 15k to continue your onslaught with.
Right, yeah, and then you play him for 1 early on, and then you play Dark Banisher later. That's extra pressure. Yeah, definitely. And then the 2 Dimensional Banishers. So what were you trying to remove with these cards?
I was testing against my friend Michael Silk, who's the literal baby god.
Yeah.
And I noticed that baby is a hell of a rough matchups, especially if I don't find negate. So I was like, I need something to remove big guys from the board because I can struggle with that. Also against Towa, it's not like their chain does nothing to me because I always have 14 or 15 hands. But I need to get it off the field because it will keep bullying me with its 500,000 attack every turn. So.
Right. Definitely, yeah. So having the removal, I think removal is important in any deck, no matter if it's main deck or side deck. But overall, that is the deck, Wim. So congratulations on your finish. Anything you want to say about the whole deck, or anything you want to say about the event, or any shout outs you want to give?
The entire event, it was amazingly well run by the tournament center guys and girls. Bandai did a great job. Our hotel was absolutely beautiful. They gave 48 people plus the staff and the judges accommodation for 2 nights in a 3-star hotel. We had breakfast. We had 3 meals on the day of the tournament. It was absolutely amazing. Everything went super smooth. For shout outs, I obviously want to give a shout out to Trey. To everybody else, I asked for advice in the weeks leading up to this, whether I play their deck or not. Because I talked a lot with Russell, with Jordan, Markle, with Richard Zapp. I talked to so many guys and then ultimately decided on this deck anyway. More shout outs to my team, Kitchen Table Meta, our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. Thanks for the love, guys. It's very appreciated. My locals owner, Nelly, my friend Sadie for supporting me through the day, just giving me positive vibes. And yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome, Wim. Again, congratulations. Thank you. And we will see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you.